Alright fam, well it's time to engage. Moods are front and center, enter the stage. Mind, body and spirit to try synergy. Ask not like Kennedy, feel the energy. Jump as you live, try to give all positive vibes. Ignite your cognitive senses. The consensus, moods are stupendous, tremendous, and kicks like Juventus. Always on point, sharp like a knife, cutting through the bull, tame the strife of life. With no type of hype, don't like take a hike or roll the dice, grab the mic, connect like Skype. No need to save face, it's a safe space conducive to mental fitness, wellness inclusive. Chasing nirvana, elusive. Instead, shed the abusive pattern, real like the rings of Saturn. Full circle, Mutai's in purple, royalty regal. She's killing you with kindness, it's almost illegal. So my people, life is up and down like a seesaw. Calito, fly away high like an eagle. Watch the leaves grow. Once my flow is flawless, then it's finito.
Okay. We are live. We are here on Diplomatic Radio. It is the Love Weekend, and I'm super excited to be here today. If you've just tuned into the show for the first time, this is an inspirational show where we empower, inspire, and heal. And we just cover different topics in life, and we bring in different guests. I am going, because it's Love Weekend, right? It's Valentines weekend. It's all about love. What I'm going to be doing is, whenever people ask me who's Mutz, I always say I'm love. So I'm all about love. Wherever love is, I'm there. So today it's a different kind of inspiration. Today is like a love story. So what I'm going to ask you all today is, wherever you are, could you please send through any of your love stories? What is it you think? What is love? You know what I mean? People have different perceptions. They're different love languages, okay? So over the years, I never used to understand, because there's some people that say, I like flowers. Some people would say, I like a home cooked meal. Some people would say, I like to get a massage. Some people, different things. And if you go into the emotional intelligence bit, or the characteristics or personality types of people have different love languages. So the question is, there's a reason why I played that track. The question is, what is love? How do you define love? We're here, and we have our first love inspiration of the show today. Let's hear from our lovely guest. Okay, we're live on air.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going? I was enjoying the music. When it stopped, I was thinking, what's going on?
Wow.
I hope my background noise is not interfering.
No, it's not.
We are speaking from the heart today, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, it's relatable.
Right.
So.
Okay, cool. So thank you so much for being the first person, the first inspiration of the show today. And so are you going to share some love inspiration or a love story?
Well, I think in terms of romantic love, I've heard the worst luck so far, but that's all right. I think that's part of it. Filtering through the process. I'm not miserable about it. I think patience pays off in the end. So working on myself and learning myself before I take another person on board and put a burden on them to learn about them. I've had experiences that I've learned from others and about myself. I had quite an experience actually, which made me feel sad, because I felt betrayed at one point.
Okay.
But maybe I was looking at it with bias, we always look at it with bias. So I'm happy to have known them, all that I've known, and I know my intentions cannot be verified. They might think, oh, that guy's a prick or something, whatever. But still have undying love for them, wherever they are. So, rock clip that Viola Davis shared on Instagram. I think Chris Rock has been divorced a couple of times, if I'm correct, but he was stating that he was speaking on marriage actually, but marriage could be a relation, could be anything in general. He was saying it's a partnership, and he also said there's no. I think he said there's no. You have to work together. It's like a band. He said it's like a music band. So some days you're playing the drums, some days you're playing the guitar, and some other days you're playing the tambourine. And how no one likes a miserable looking tambourine player. So if you're having to play the tambourine or the triangle, have a happy face with it and have enthusiasm, because love requires enthusiasm, transparency, opening up to each other. I found that in my previous relationship, they barely knew anything about me. Not necessarily because they don't ask. I guess there's an art of asking, there's an art of conversating. Takes time. You cannot demand, I want to know this about you now. Somebody might get comfortable to disclose maybe 3 years later to open up. So we have to know the art of stroking people to make them relax and having them be comfortable. People want to be comfortable. We look for partners because we don't want to be alone, and we want to be appreciated, and people having to learn about us and guide us, and us returning the same favor to them. That's all we see, companionship. That's what is at the root of it. So we ought to always remember that, because sometimes you could be in a relationship and you break up like 6 times. There's always threatening to break up and things like that. That causes mental distress. A squabble over the weekend in the relationship can affect a week at work, because entitlement gets in the way. You are not doing this for me. You are not doing that. We then want people to serve us, and then we forget that we should always go by the way of humility, always be in the service of others. Of course, there should be a balance. We should not be used, but we should also remember to be in the service of others. People speak of what is they called? Acts of love, I think. Acts of service, and so on and so on. When you look at that dynamic or that illustration, yeah, it sounds a bit cliche, but we have to learn these things, emotional intelligence and many other things. Let's not use against people things they tell us, and be as caring and be gentle. It's quite important to manage to work to do. If you want to be in love or stay in love, you've got to realize there's a problem in this culture. What is it that is not being done, or maybe that used to be done when the rates were low? Let's learn from those that have been in relationship for a long time.
Right. You've touched on a lot of things. There's a lot of things. So before you go, I just want to ask you a few questions or on some of the comments that you gave. You say that before you go in a relationship or before you decide to love somebody else, you need to first find yourself, and you need to first love yourself first before you decide to go into. Is that right?
Yes, because say for those that drink alcohol, if I wake up in the morning without having any breakfast and just start drinking a bottle of whiskey, I'm most likely going to throw up and feel quite terrible afterwards. So there's got to be some preparation, even with the drinks you drink at the first time and so on. That's like with love. We have to prepare ourselves because we rush into it. Because sometimes you're rushed into it. You're almost put in a position to declare the relationship, the beginning stage of the relationship. That's why nowadays, if you say to people, people don't even know their anniversary when they started. There's no vows anymore. We are not. So how can we do the work? And for both men and women, how can we do the work that we want to do? Be providing for ourselves and then prepare for others, to make room for others. Because you do not want to imprison yourself with another person. You'll grow to hate them. and lovers end up tending to kill each other and hate each other. We want to avoid that. So to do that, we want to prepare and create capacity. So there are things that we ought to do, things that are being ignored, stages that we have to go through. Not necessarily setting a test for each other. I think we end up getting into a habit of setting a test for one another. But let us prepare ourselves and open up on what we're trying to prepare and go through the stages. We buy a house there, we do that, you lay out your plan, what you're trying to do career-wise, and so on. I might have a career where I have to move around. So maybe we need to be mobile. One of us might have to change jobs. We have to communicate these things. If you want to go and work in Dubai in the future, if you're into NGOs and so on, let this be communicated. Let us learn to live in solitude as well, so that when our partner is away, we can sustain ourselves and not start to become suspicious and paranoid. So dealing with abandonment issues and other things of sorts. Because sometimes when you harass or provoke a suspicion or assume that somebody has done something, be it infidelity, sometimes you are the one who conjure up that thing and manifest it, and it actually comes up to be. Because I might as well go and sleep around if you think I'm sleeping around. That's how sometimes people end up working. Let us not train each other into failure, but let us train each other into preventing failure occurring and then sabotaging the relationship that would have taken years to build and the emotions would have invested. So that's the preparation I speak on.
Right. So okay, that's powerful. So okay, one inspiration there. It's good to get to know yourself first as a person. Get to know yourself first before you then commit to go into a relationship with somebody else, because it's preparing you. You understand, you're able to communicate, etc. And then there's another aspect, one quick question as well. You mentioned the fact about you were once in a relationship and that relationship is gone, and even though that person is no longer there, the love for that person still stays. Is that possible, that you break up with somebody, they go their separate ways, and you still love them?
Oh yes, indeed, because love cannot be mixed with hate and malice. It's only when we try to compromise. So yes, the surface is nice. There is an attractive woman, there's an attractive guy, but we have to go within. The external withers away. It's what changes most of the time, but within, people grow within. They don't usually wither away. So we have to learn to go inside of the people and understand them, because I thought during the relationship, when you're fighting to keep it alive, you fight to maintain it, not to destroy it. Like people on the Titanic, they were doing everything they could not to sink, taking the water out and so on. But they got to a point where they realized that here we are sinking, and all the fight ceased. And they realize we have to allow it to sink and die, and that's what it gets to. It was not easy to know that they've moved on and they've moved on without you, because when you look back, you think, oh, that was said to you, well, it was probably in deceit, and that does happen. People have an agenda sometimes. We all have an agenda. If I'm to want to marry you and to want to be with you, to spend time with you, it's an agenda. Is it hidden? No, it doesn't necessarily always have to be hidden. But there are hidden agendas as well. There are people that are looking for pockets of comfort, and there are situations where you will be used. But when you are used, what you ought to do is to forgive those that have used you, but most importantly, forgive yourself for having put yourself in that situation, to say, how dumb could I have been? All these signs were presented to me, but I should have picked them up, but I did not follow my instinct. So always follow your instinct and don't go by the way of confrontation. Bring it out so that it's the truth that you try to confront. That way you minimize, you keep the integrity within yourself through these checks and balances, so that when something does happen, which causes separation, you had the graph was showing you that it was leading up to this. So that way you manage your emotions. You don't spend time, if you sit around and people talk of maybe they're separating from their wife, and you say, yes, all women are promiscuous, and you become bitter, against you take them all as a collective, or all men are trash, or whatever it is. We, after forgiving those that have done harm to us or that have wronged us, and also forgiving ourselves, we can then move on with clarity, with a clean heart, without any suspicions or paranoia. So there are stages after the breakup that allow us to come back to a state of restoration. We're not going to be sending them presents and buying their kids gifts once they're gone. That is not the love that I speak of. But I'm saying that you have an open heart. If you were to find them drowning, you would save them,
Thank you so much. That has been amazing. I hope somebody just took some inspiration there. That is some love, inspiration. Thank you so much, caller.
Well, thank you for having me.
I will take notes and we will continue to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cheke.
Okay. So there you go. In a nutshell, the inspiration I got is, before you go into the next relationship, make sure you understand you love yourself first, which is true self-care, because you need to be able to understand yourself before you even think of trying to understand somebody else. The next thing I got for myself was the fact that if it is possible to actually still love somebody, and even though you're not together, it comes from a place of forgiveness. After the breakup, you need to have stages of healing, and part of that healing includes forgiveness. And forgiveness meaning that you don't take any baggage into your next relationship. And there was a very rhetoric lesson in there. Like, if somebody is to ask you, because there are things that go around social media sometimes when you hear people saying one word to describe your ex, or if your ex was to do this, how would you describe them? And if you find yourself in a position of still being angry, or still being bitter, or having something negative to say towards your ex, it means you haven't healed. And you're not healing, it means if you go into the next relationship, you're going to carry the baggage that you still have, because you have to go to a place of healing in order to move on. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate to be sharing my story with everyone listening today.
Brilliant. We really appreciate you coming on to live on air. So we'll remain anonymous. So what is your love story or inspiration? Do you want to talk about your love inspiration or your love story?
My love story has been a bit of a shaky one.
Okay, why is that?
Because I used to believe in love, maybe those fairy tales we grew up believing in, and you get into you give it your all, but sometimes maybe you're in the relationship with the wrong person because they won't appreciate you and all the efforts you're doing, and you realize it after a time, because all along you'll be trying to keep pushing, you'll be trying to hang in there, thinking that's what love is about. It's about going through the deepest times, the darkest together, but no, I've actually wasted like 2 years of my life already, and the person is not changing. They're actually getting worse. So that's when you realize it's actually good when you move on, because some they still remain stuck. For some, eventually.
Some people manage to move on, some people don't manage to move on. And so where are you, if you don't mind me asking? Have you moved on, or are you still in that situation?
I've actually moved on, but I've seen many like posts saying sometimes it rains everywhere. I've managed to move on, but the next relationship I had wasn't as sunny as I expected it to be. I ended up thinking maybe this love thing, some people it's meant for some people, and certain people it's not meant for them. Because it's like you get through the same situations you've been through before, and maybe this time it just ended quickly. I didn't have to drag it to 2 years because now I could see and I learned from a past experience.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So, do you want me to share with you what I think? Because what you've said is very valid, and I think it's a common trend, especially in our generation. For starters, I just want to say, I am sorry for everything that you have gone through, and having you come to a point where you actually say love doesn't exist because of the experiences that you've had, is you are already manifesting things that didn't work well in your life. You are accepting those things and manifesting them by still speaking that love doesn't exist. So there are two things in life. For me, I used to think that they are things called mistakes, but mistakes are actually experiences that help us grow. And sometimes in life, you are going to meet the same experience twice, maybe because there is something that you didn't learn in the previous experience, so you will go through it twice. However, we are the master of our fate. If you accept defeat and accept that the cards that were dealt with to you by somebody else is how your life is going to be defined, you will lose out on great things. A lot of people that are successful, the people that you see in successful relationships or the successful love stories, if you sit down with them and they share with you their love stories, I can guarantee you that they did not just wake up one day and say, wow, this is what's happening. Even the prominent people, we've heard of Will Smith and Jada's story, right? They've gone through a whole lot of things that we think, oh my God, but we still see them together, right? I want you to be able, and this is what shifting your mindset is all about. I want you today, from now on, I want you to speak and say, I have a good husband. If it's a husband that you want or a boyfriend that you want, I have a good husband in my life. I am love, and love will come my way. You need to manifest what is it you desire. All of the things that we have in life come from a place of manifestation in your mind, in your brain. We are all dealt hard cards. Some cards that are different experiences, but the same concept is they're hard cards. But if we let that experience define us as people, we will lose out a lot in life. We will not have the growth or the evolution that we had if, as humanity, we took on all the bad experiences that have ever happened in humanity. We would not have had evolution. You sound so amazing and sweet, and you deserve all the great love. And I want you from now on going forward, do not speak that negativity over your life. If it's love that you want, you are going to have to speak love into your life. Regardless of how life has swayed you, regardless of what cards have been dealt with you, you are going to manifest love. And I want us today is a day, I want you to write this day down, and I want you to write that I have a good husband on the way. I will have a good husband. I have a good husband. I am love. I deserve love, and I will get all the good love that is there in the world. And I want you to speak those words every day. If it means you put them on a vision board, put them there. If that is what you want, I want you to speak on love on your life, and do not let the negative aura or negative experience that you've gone through set you back.
Yes, I understand.
From now on, if it's love you want, unless you're telling me to say no, I don't want love, but if it's love that you want and a good man that you want, you need to speak that into existence in your life.
Yes.
Yeah?
I will do starting from now.
Every day.
Sometimes you will be wondering, do I even still need love, or am I just gonna end up getting hurt again?
What you speak over your life is what manifests into reality. The moment you give room for heartbreak, the moment you even instill that doubt in your life, the moment you think, do I even deserve this, you will never have everything that is deserving to you, because you're already closing that door. You're already speaking that blockage into existence, that do I even deserve that. The universe will say, okay, so you don't think you deserve it, so you won't have it. Life is everything we create in our lives, everything that we are as people comes from a place of the mind. And if you are a spiritual person, so for example, myself, I'm a spiritual person, I'm a strong believer of God. And in times when sometimes I don't understand, or I've been dealt cards 3 times, you know what I mean? 3 times. I've been dealt the same mistake maybe 4 or 5 times. But I've always said to myself that I deserve all the good love because I am love. Do you know what I mean? And in that, I'm now, the moment I shifted my mindset, the moment I started to speak and manifest that all the people that ever come to me are just full of love. You know, you will have other people that come and want to distract that thought process, but you put it on a vision board. If that is what you want in your heart, to say, I want a good man, you know, then you will have a good man.
Yeah, definitely.
Speak it.
I guess it was good to share it with you and have someone tell you.
Absolutely. Anyone.
Manifest it into reality.
Affirm your love and go and find your love. And I hope, actually I'm speaking that this Valentine's Day you're going to receive a good surprise. On to beautiful princess, or the beautiful queen that just called with her side of the story. So it's not every time we have a beautiful love story, you know. Sometimes we will have stories that turn us, that turn into trauma, but this is what we're here for. We turn that trauma into healing. And sometimes, you know, losing is a hard thing, you know. Losing anything in life that you want is a hard thing. But sometimes losing is actually a good thing, because in order for you to embrace, I always say, in order for you to embrace the new blessings that are upon your life, or that are meant for your life, or in order for you to embrace change that is good for you, you are going to have to shift and lose sometimes. In order for you to win good things, in order for you to embark on a journey of goodness, you are going to have to lose things sometimes. And sometimes it's people, sometimes it's assets, sometimes you lose yourself in order to find yourself. You know, sometimes you will lose yourself. I mean, I can remember my very first heartbreak. Oh my God. Because at that point I was young, immature, and I didn't know how to process my emotions. And I was literally, honestly, I would feel this pain inside me. Like, it was a hardcore pain, a physical pain, which had been built up from the emotion. And I was thinking, is this pain going to go away? Is this pain going to go away? Will I ever love again? And I can remember during that time, I thought to myself, that's it. That was the love of my life. I would never find love again. I would never do this, that, and the other. But guess what? I did find love again, and the story just...
A season to love, a moment to love, a season to be loved, a season to embrace what love is. May those that are yearning for love find love. May those that are broken-hearted find a moment to find a place to be loved. If they don't find the love that they yearn for, may they begin to love themselves first. You become whole only when you begin to love yourself first. You become whole only when the completion of the love that is found within you be embraced by your spirit, your soul, and your heart. And in the unity of your completion, in the season of love, love becomes your total life. So let love lead. Let love become your light. And let the light of the love glow before you in the season of love. Love your mother, love your father, love your brother, love your sister, love your lover, and find your love in the place called love.